Dude. Dudes with Brews on a Porch is the name of this fucking podcast that you are fucking listening to, and this is a fucking Tunes with Brews episode.
Okay. Yeah.
An episode.
I thought that was part of the recording.
It should be. An episode in which Rob suggests a record and a band to listen to. I suggest a band and a record to listen to. We listen to it, we dissect it, we give our opinions and our feelings and emotions, because that's what music does. It invokes feelings. And while we're at it, we drink a beer, because that's what men do. And that's, the word brew.
It's 2023. That's what people do.
You're right. My apologies. And, in the title of the podcast, it's Dudes with Brews. I mean, in the words of Ed from Good Burger, I'm a dude, he's a dude, she's a dude, we're all dudes, and we can all enjoy a beverage within the legal limitations provided to us, which we have reached. So I am drinking a beer from a brewery that was created in the great state of Missouri, in St. Louis, of all cities, in Missouri. I am jumping on the bandwagon. I am jumping on the great season that is upon us. Now you're thinking fall. No. Fall is great. I love fall very much. But what else is great around this time is the pumpkin spice.
I knew you were going to say pumpkin spice.
I'm all about pumpkin spice. Everything. I love it. And therefore, I am hopping on it, and I am getting into the spirits. And I am channeling the Great Pumpkin like I'm Charlie Brown in Halloween time. I am drinking 4 Hands Brewing Company's Ill Repute. It is a stout with pumpkin and spice. It's going to bring me familiar pumpkin pie aromas of cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger shine from this delicately made... or from this decidedly non-traditional twist on a pumpkin ale that's built upon complex layers of caramel or caramel, if you want to say it like that, and chocolate to create a seasonal imperial stout that's both trick and treat. You can pair it with pumpkin brownies, a giant bowl of chocolate, and All Hallows Eve. We're a little far away from All Hallows Eve, but I'm diving into the spirits. If you can put Christmas trees up at the beginning of November, I can start celebrating Halloween in the beginning of September. That's just what it is. Fair is fair. I'm all about the equal opportunities. 8.5 ABV, 0 on the IBUs. Gosh darn it, it's as black as my soul. And it's got the smells. It's got the smell of a stout. What's the smell of a stout? I don't know. Fucking smell one and figure it out. It's got the pumpkin nodes to it. I can't smell too much because my allergies are pretty bad, to be honest. Along with fall and pumpkin spice season is my inability to function in the outside world, because the outside world is full of pollen, ragweed, and other pollutants that are trying to kill me. You can also pair this with dark chocolate. So it's like it really is a trick and a treat. Because you're like, how can you pair beer with a chocolate? And you're like, yeah, you just do it. Shall we taste it? No comment to that?
I was letting you taste it.
Oh.
I have plenty to say about everything you just said, but it's all forgotten now.
Could be the allergies.
Also, I've restarted the entire process.
Could be the allergies, but If I'm being honest, I'm not.
But you should be.
I'm not getting any hits of cinnamon or nutmeg.
Did you swirl it?
Yeah, man. I swirled it, poured it.
You do that every time you drink it. Swirl it. It unlocks the aroma.
There is a light cinnamon taste to it. Honestly, I need more pumpkin. I need more spice. If you're going to call this a pumpkin and spice stout, you better bring it. You better bring it to my taste buds.
That's what you get for drinking a pumpkin beer when pumpkin's not in season yet.
It can be.
Yeah, they're not ripe.
Well, I have a bunch of pumpkin stuff in my fridge because we're loading up, buddy. We're getting ready.
You know, I like pumpkin spice. I just don't like people that make it their whole fall entourage, follows them around as their personality for 3 months of the year, which is way too long for that.
I don't like kick in the door and say I've got pumpkin spice. I just enjoy it. Did you know that they made pumpkin?
I kind of feel like that's exactly how you started this podcast, was by kicking in the metaphorical door.
You gotta be aggressive sometimes, you know. You gotta grab life by the proverbial pumpkins. Now I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
They made pumpkin scented dude wipes recently, aka flushable wipes for men's,
which aren't flushable.
Asses.
Can we get that out there? Can we do a PSA?
They're not flushable.
Flushable wipes are not flushable. They are terrible for the system that you don't see that takes away your waste discreetly.
Do you know?
It'll plug up, and then your waste will be stuck in a very creepy way.
Yeah, that is true. You are right. All right, so let's move on. Enough about me and my superior palates. Let's move on to you, Rob. You're drinking a beer from Wayfinder Beer in Portland, Oregon.
Way to just really say that's as flat as you possibly could.
I thought like the word company was going to be at the end of it, but no, it's just Wayfinder Beer.
Well, you know, this is a Portland beer.
Mm-hmm.
From
Portland,
they
Oregon.
don't mince words. They tell you they tell you right there what it is. You don't have to think about the ins and outs of beer economy, like with words like company. Okay. No, what you're holding is a French style Pilsner, and they got everything you need on this can to know. Some of it's confusing, actually.
What's it called?
La Magie.
Yeah, see,
La Magie.
I would have said La Maggie. La Magie. La Magie.
I slept through 1 year of French. I can say I know it's La Magie.
Is it La Magie or La?
Yeah, it's La Magie.
La Mag. La Magie.
La Magie. Magie. No, it's Magie. I'm saying Magie.
You're right. I think you're right. Do you have the info?
This is what I got.
All right.
It's brewed with French Strisel Spalt hops. Never had those. I'm very intrigued. Now, this is where it gets a little confusing. Fresh spring air.
Yep.
Meadow breeze.
Yeah.
And also some soft floral hop spice.
Okay. Maybe of the pumpkin variety, huh?
No, I don't think so.
No, you're right. Damn.
It gives you it says to drink it out of an hourglass, I think, is what it's trying to tell me.
Okay.
And there's instructions. It just says open and drink.
Okay.
But look at this picture. Can you see this?
Yeah, there's a lot of receptacles that you can drink it in.
Yeah, but it's checked. There's a red check mark on the hourglass.
Oh, you got an hourglass handy?
Not here.
I thought that was like a time keeping tool.
Yeah, but unless you crack it open.
I guess.
Maybe it's saying drink it slow.
Could be. Maybe.
I don't know. I know when I cracked this can open, this overwhelming Pilsner smell hit me hard. But I've been sitting in that aroma for a while now,
Nice.
waiting for someone to talk about his pumpkin spice craze.
Yeah.
It's a fad.
Nah, dude, it's a lifestyle. 5.3 ABV.
You want to give the actual information for me?
It's exactly what you said. That is the information. 5.3 ABV, 0 in the IBUs. It is, yeah, it's a French style Pilsner. And
it's very light.
Yeah, it's like crystal clear. That's like your I know it says French, but like it's almost like pure Americana when you think of beer. When you think of light beer, when you're getting into beer, you're reaching for that light stuff, that stuff that you can just see through. It looks like you're pee on a Sunday morning.
After you drank a bunch of that beer.
Exactly.
Yes.
How's it taste?
So I'm going to taste it now. It smells crisp. It smells like it's going to be a very refreshing, crisp beer.
Does it smell like fresh air? A nice breeze?
It does.
Good. I don't know what that tastes
like.
I
don't know what spritzel smells like. And I have the glass too full to swirl it again. But I have to take a few drinks of this because I did I took a shower and brushed my teeth and such. But I really rinsed my mouth out good through trying to cleanse my palate.
Congrats.
But I'm afraid that it's still interacting.
All right. Well, we'll revisit it at the end of the episode. You know, we begin and we end with the beer. That's just.
But it is crisp. I think honestly that floral spice is coming through on the back end of it. And it's good.
Excellent.
But I don't know what the stristle spell. I'd have to have another, like, I'd almost have to have a couple beers with those types of hops and then a beer that didn't have those type of hops so that I could differentiate between the two, especially Pilsners, because I don't drink a lot of Pilsners. So
for sure. We picked 2 different records, as we do on these episodes. Who wants to go first? Do you want to go with my choice first or your choice first?
Who went first last time?
I don't remember.
All right, you go first.
Okay, with Gomez?
No,
with direct.
Well, yeah, I guess we should have figured that out before we made the choice. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, go. Let's. So I listened to your album and my album today.
Okay.
Because though I listen to my album quite a bit, it's on my rotation. It still doesn't come back around for a few months at a time sometimes. And so let's talk about Gomez. Bring It On first.
Okay, so Gomez, Bring It On. It's a band that I've heard of before, only because of your family, Rob. Never because of anybody else recommending them. And not that that's not a dig. I
know.
I'm just saying.
I really have. I've never. Yeah, I'm same boat over here.
This album from 1998, 12 songs, 54 minutes and 13 seconds, released New Year's Day in 1998. Okay, so I'm 7 years old when this record comes out. Ironically, I have a cat named Gomez at this time, not because of the band, but because of the Addams Family character. Now, when I think of Gomez, for some reason, I wanted to lump them in with like Monine, because I always heard Monine and Gomez in your house. And I was like, okay, I had an idea of what I thought this was going to sound like. And I couldn't have been further.
No, they are completely different bands.
Right. Yeah, completely.
One band sounds like the first, like what you feel like on the first day that it's 20 below and there's snow outside and you hate life. And then one band, it's the sound of it to me is the first day of spring or the first day you can wear a t-shirt, breathe fresh air without coughing.
Yeah. So,
Gomez is the latter. You probably say that.
Yeah. It opens up and then it gives you like this, I want to kind of say new age blues sound. Right away I picked up, I was like, this sounds like some blues tunes. And then you get the raspy vocals with it. And I was just like, holy shit, this is not what I
love the vocalist. I love that guy's voice.
he's got this super raspy, strong voice, and I was like, okay, they got to have some blues influence. They're the kind of like genre bending, if you will, which is
I was trying to figure out what genre they were when I was listening to it too.
it's
Don't know.
I guess you could lump it under like an experimental type of thing, because really like they took like elements of like electronica and they mashed it with blues, with the sound of the blues, and
Reggae a little bit. In my opinion, there's some reggae stuff in there maybe.
it was like I said, it wasn't what I expected. So that opening A song, that opening A track, Get Miles, it was pretty good. It's not what I thought it was going to be. I was like, holy shit, this is wild, And then I'm listening to it. We move to the second song, and it's completely different. The vocals are completely different. You got shakers that are faded onto the right side of the speakers. You got what sounds like a bunch of like pots going on in the background, going or whatever, making things. And I was just like, and then the singers, they must have two, I would assume.
They got 3 singers, 2 different drummers, I think. So it's like they've got a lot of. I think they're like 6-piece or something like that.
Okay. So
I've seen them live twice, and they do the 2 drum. They've got 2 drummers up there, and like on Whippin' Piccadilly, the second track, I think those are steel drums that come in at a certain point. They get a lot of bongo stuff too, and hand drums.
Yeah, they got a little bit of everything, and it's throughout the record, one of my comments is just like it is. Every song is almost drastically different than the song you just heard. Even the song before that is different than 3 songs from now. That was so. I like that in a way, but it's also it was difficult for me to get into a groove, to get into a vibe. What am I going to feel when I'm listening to this music? Because it is so different all the time.
You feel like, because to me, I go like, yeah, every song has a different feel, but they also have an underlying thread throughout them, which is like kind of like they have these grooving bass lines with the drums, and then they do these vast changes, and yeah, they have the different. I don't know. To me, I feel like it's a pretty solid album, even though each song has different aspects to it. It still fits the overall arc of the album, in my opinion. But I've listened to it a lot more. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
Could be. I kept getting like different like. So like I said, when it opens with the blues, and then I'm like listening to some songs, and then I hear like, I was like, this almost sounds like a Beatles song to me. For whatever reason, I kept like thinking back to the Beatles. I was like, this has like a Beatles like kind of like rhythm to it. And then I even got like a Collective Soul type of feel on one of the songs. And I'm thinking, I'm just like, holy, this is like, so when I say it's hard to get in a vibe, but then at the same time, I was like, this is definitely like a 90s band. Like this has like the sound of the 90s, if that makes sense. All like collectively put together. And it's just, it's hard for me to get into a groove. Some of the songs are pretty long, which,
well, yeah, when you get to, so like, I mean, I love the feeling that you get from like, especially songs like "Here Comes the Breeze" and what 78 Stone Wobble is that's number 4.
Yep.
Or is it "Love Is Better Than"? Yeah.
4.
So like that's got this but then it slows way down for Tijuana Lady, which is like literally one of the most full songs in my opinion. That song just makes me like. It makes you feel something so deeply. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But
might be
the lyrically and what they're talking about and how they draw it out in the empty space that they use is amazing to me.
I have written down that "Here Comes the Breeze" was my favorite on the record. I like that one. I do like "Get Miles" just because it's like, again, I was caught off guard so much by it.
Yeah.
But
"Get Miles" reminds me of sitting on like I always think of when I'm sitting on the beach. That song because I feel like the rhythm of it is almost like the waves coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's got that crash cymbal, like the crash, and it's to me, I don't know why, but this is a band that, in my opinion, you listen to when you go to the beach. It's very like it's upbeat, and it's I don't know, it's just very relaxing, but also brings your mood up for me. But I figured you'd like maybe Get Myself Arrested or something like that.
Yeah, that one was fine.
Fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of maybe it's I probably need to listen to it more than once to really get a good understanding, a good feel for it. Listen to it in different situations. I listened to it in my car when I was driving.
This is a great place to listen to it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but I will say I think we should like after we talk about both albums. There's one thing I do want to talk about because I think I might have narrowed down one of the reasons why we have a different sensibility in what we like in the music that we choose, and especially the sense that you're talking about the getting into the groove of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something I noticed, because I was really trying to break down like why does this genre of music appeal to me and this genre doesn't? Because there's a multitude of genres. You had texted me like, "Oh, I'm trying to pick unique albums for these episodes."
Mm-hmm.
But they're all albums that I listen to on the regular, like on shuffle or and it's not a real shuffle. It's just randomly my brain will go, "This would be a good album to listen to right now, today." And I stick with the stuff that I grew up with. I learned about Gomez about a year after I learned about Built to Spill, but they both this album and the album that I first heard with Built to Spill, I believe it was Keep It Like a Secret, which is 97, were given to my parents at the same time. And they brought them back from Florida, and we put Built to Spill in, and it took us a year and a half or something to put the Gomez album in. And then once we put that in, that became like the greatest thing for a while. And it's never left me. And so I still am listening to all that music from back in the 90s and early 2000s that I did. But I'm trying to put together like that. One of the cool things about doing these episodes is where it's like you'll send me this stuff and it's like we'll get into the album that you sent me, and there's things that I really like about it, but then there's always some baseline thing, and it kind of is a thread throughout that where it's like there's a reason why I wouldn't listen to, and we'll get into that.
So would you say this album is important to you because it just links you back to family?
I mean, I think this album is important to me because it has the like lyrically and just the things that he's talking about that I think it shaped part like these guys and Built to Spill shaped the way that I think a little bit throughout, because I was very impressionable when I listened to them. But when you talk about songs like Get Miles, where he's talking about I've got to get away from this place. I'm not getting got to get out of this city. I'm not getting any peace here. I got to get off this fucking planet. But it's also uplifting, where it's like I feel like that's kind of my mentality with things, where it's like you trying to have positivity while having a lot of negative thoughts about things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not necessarily what it all is, but it's like when you get to say Tijuana Lady, like that, I swear to you, like deep down, like that, if that song is the representation of love to me, it's like it's a sad love song, but it is what love should be, like just what you're searching for.
A lot of stuff happens in Tijuana, like could the lady have been a donkey?
Possibly. It's not about a lady. It's about love, Drew. And love comes in many forms. And I think they call it a boro.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like interspecies erotica. Because some people call it that.
Yeah. Hey, to each their own. I don't judge. But
Yep.
that song is a song that it takes you on a real, like, it's a real good, like, a story and a journey, and it's heartbreak, but it's also hopeful of what you want to find. And it's that song is one of the best songs, I think, in terms of in that the realm of a love song, quote unquote, to
Mm.
me, for how the frequency that my, like, soul kind of vibrates at.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Um, anything else?
I don't know. I mean, this is an album where I would recommend anybody go listen to it, because they are not a small band, but there was one person that I was growing up that knew Gomez outside of my family. And I was living with this guy, Ian Brink, rest in peace. He's gone now, but he was a great, amazing guy. But he's really into bands like String Cheese Incident and Fish, maybe, like jam bands. But jam bands I had never really heard of. He introduced me kind of to the Flaming Lips, and but he was into the string bands and more trippy, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I brought Gomez, and I was living with him, and I had that album, and he's like, "Oh, Gomez, yeah, I've heard of them." He said the same thing about Built to Spill, by the way, that where he's like, "These are, like, not really. They're like the lesser of the jam bands."
Oh, sure.
And I was like, well, that's kind of diminutive, and I don't consider them jam bands at all. Have you listened to them? Like, we had a conversation, and by the time I moved out of that place, he was like really into those bands, because they're not jam bands. They do jam a little bit in concert, but it's like they're feel music, and if you're feeling what they're putting down, then you're really gonna like it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an album I recommend. Obviously, I recommended it to you, but this is one that stayed with me now for coming up on, I don't know, where we're at. 2019 would be, what, 20 years? 99 to 09 to 19. Yeah, so
Yeah.
20 plus years.
Yeah. For sure. Cool.
All right,
Okay.
let's move on.
The record I told you to listen.
I've been interrupting you. If there's anything else you want to say about it, I don't know how you felt about, say, Reese's Wagon, or, like, the end of the album. There's some interesting stuff in there, and they do some weird, like, like Bubblegum Years comes on. It's like, what the heck is this? It's so far out of left field.
I said that for every transition of every song
Okay.
when I listened to it. It was different. In a good way.
Okay.
Personally,
Well, I remember you saying, yeah, I remember, like, that's one thing that we say to each other on these albums a lot, where it's like it all sounded the same to me. I'm glad I didn't get that response this time.
yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna get that on this one that I picked. Um, uh, I picked an album that's very near and dear to my heart that I love very, very much. An album called Brainless God by the Midwestern punk band Direct Hit. The members have kind of filtered in and out. In this rendition, it was Nick Woods has been the front man of it the whole time. They This is an album. So the first time I saw Direct Hit, they opened up for a band they opened up for Mass Intruder, another band from Wisconsin, and then Brendan Kelly and the Wandering Birds played. Three bands that I love very, very much. I didn't know who Direct Hit was at that show. I watched them, I loved them, and I had to consume more. I bought their first record, Dome Splitter, which was really, really awesome. And then I think they had this record up for grab. They're like done for a long time, and it just needed to get picked up. But it's on Red Scare, which is a really good record label if you like punk bands. It is 12 songs, 34 minutes, 59 seconds. It was released September 3rd, 2013. It is, if you listen to it, the record, it tells a story of the end of the world. It picks characters within the world to kind of focus on. One of them being a serial killer. There's also a cult There's also an escaped convict, and there's there's love, there's death, there's violence, and there's questioning and mocking God. I'm all about it.
That's what I loved about it. Like there's the thing to me, like, whereas like Brainless God, already a great album name, concept album based on that, it's going to be worth a listen just because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, like, the songs like that started White Robes, I believe it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next track on the song, which now, because my computer wouldn't work, I can't have the like track list up. I was really mad I couldn't get lyrics to this on YouTube Music while I was listening to it.
Oh, White Robes. Yeah, White Robes is like the cult.
Yeah.
And then Heaven is a Black Hole. That's one of my favorite songs.
Heaven is Black Hole is a really, really good song. And then at the last like 3 songs I really enjoyed as well. Because I feel like those songs, they got away from the tempo. The tempo stays the same to me. And I might be completely wrong on that. And this is where it gets into one of the things that we're talking about. Can you hear those fucking parrots?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Are they in your house?
Let me close my window. You talk for just a millisecond.
Well, I will say this record is, well, important to me for a lot of different reasons, but yes, every song I love very, very much. I like that you can listen front to back, and it tells this story. It's really like at least one of the first like concept albums maybe that I was like aware of, or that I really like paid attention to. The cool thing about it when they released this, and I was able to get one of them, is they did like a pretty like a bunch of different stuff with the release. So I have like the album. It's in a pizza box. On the pizza box, it says Brainless God on it. It came along with it. Came, I believe it came with a DVD. So they did like a kind of like a rock opera, if you will, to it.
Mm-hmm.
with it's interpretive or whatever. They filmed it all front to back. You can watch it, which is pretty cool.
Is that online, do you think?
Yeah, some of them are. Yep. I would imagine most of them are. They also released it as a comic book. They made it into a comic book, which was pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure wrapping papers came along with it too. I don't know how to use
that sounds about right. Yeah.
I don't know how to use that, but I loved it. It was awesome. It's just it's a fun album. Obviously, you're thinking about like the end of the world. What would you do if if the world were to end and you were to do this? Like, would you go and kill somebody that you've been thinking about it or something like that, or would you get one last kill if you're a serial killer? There's all these different perspectives about what could happen at the end of the world, and it's telling these stories, and then at the end, it kind of reprises the opening track.
The beginning, yeah,
yes.
The beginning track and the end track. It says that the end track is part 2, but there is no part 1 until you listen to it and you get to the on and on part.
Yeah, and
I think you're supposed to realize that that's actually the loop.
Right. Yeah? Yep. And then it ends with the words "Let's get plastered one more time" or one last time, and then it goes boom. So it's a record that it's a lot of fun to listen to. Direct Hit has a lot of high energy live, but the reason that this album is so like important to me is because the very first time I ran a half marathon and I was trained for a half marathon, I listened to these songs like crazy. So it came out in September, and the first half marathon I also ran was in September, but they had released they released singles leading up to the release of the album, and I just listened to it. Every time there was a new song, I added it to my playlist. Eventually the record came out, I got it, and then for the whole month of September, that's all I listened to. And that was like really when I'm pushing it to the limits. I'm running distances I didn't know I could run before. And to me, this record not only is about the end of the world, but it's also like the end of me to a degree trying to prove people wrong, at least in this instance. My whole life it was you're a father at 18, you're never going to make it, you're never going to go to college, you're never going to get a job, you're never going to get a house, you're never going to get any of this. And it was very much, I lived my life as an I'll show you. I'm going to do all this stuff and I'm going to prove you wrong, that you're wrong about me. You don't know anything about me, what I'm capable of doing. This turned into, I started running that summer to get exercise or whatever. And then it was I'm going to prove myself wrong. I'm going to take all the negative things I say about myself and I'm going to apply it to this. And I'm going to work hard and I'm going to be able to say I ran a half marathon and this was my soundtrack to it in a lot of ways. And it was just, I was 20, I just turned 23. So still pretty young, still had a lot of things in front of me. And I just, I guess in that regard, it was a meaningful time, meaning that I can do things for the sake that I want to do them. For the challenge, I am able to challenge myself and accomplish goals that I make, not because somebody said I couldn't do it, but just because it was driven by me. So I don't know. And I've, since then I've ran 7 more half marathons. I'll probably run more. I'm hopefully next June running a full marathon. And, it's not just about running, but I just apply it to running. And it's just, I'm going to, I'm doing these things for me. I'm going to do things because it's something I want to do. It's something that's important to me. And, I'm going to prove
that's why you like the album.
It's it's also good songs. And
let me tell you you're wrong. Let me jump in. Okay. Tell you why it's bad. Why you're wrong about all of it.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I felt like that would be a funnier thing to you if I was well, let me tell you why that's bullshit.
No.
I have no reasoning behind that. But
the songs are fun. The songs are good. They're they're different. They're not like your typical punk stuff, I would say. It's going into a different mindset. It's creative. It one of my favorite song or lines is from Heaven is a Black Hole, an illusion. Maybe that's what heaven is. And I'm like, yeah, I think so. It just, I don't know, gets you thinking. And it's also got screaming. Well, no, it's got melody. It's got beautiful backing vocals. And I love it.
Oh, this is the thing though that I was realizing, and I think that this is maybe it comes down to running for you.
Could.
In some way, shape, or form. Because I feel like most of the albums, and I might be wrong about this 100%, I'm just going based on what sticks out in my memory. Because the lyrically and what they're doing with this album, I really enjoy. I agree with a lot of the stuff that they're railing against in this album and lyrically. But what I notice is I don't think that the drummers on the albums that you're they're not playing on the backbeat ever. It's a lot of just straight beat with good fills. And that just doesn't I think that might be the thing that for a runner, that's fucking perfect because they need a tempo and a rhythm to keep time while they're running.
Mm-hmm.
But for somebody who meanders and procrastinates and changes their level of ambition and all those things like I do, I don't have goals that I go I want to set this time frame and all that. I like drums that slow down and play on the backbeat and kind of get a little weird, and then they mesh back up with what's going on in the song. And I don't think punk music does that. Punk music has a very set driving drum beat, and then they have these incredible fills. I'm not downplaying those drummers at all, at all. It's just a different style of drumming. And I was thinking about it because with this album especially, I was I really like what they're doing with this album. I really like what they're I don't even want to say trying to do. They succeeded in doing what they wanted to do. It just wasn't. It's not in the template that I want to hear, but I still enjoy what they're doing. I respect it, and I would listen to it again. I kind of want to listen to it with the videos,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that would be really cool to see the other side of the story that they visually tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that the punk music, or the music that you pick or have picked for tunes and brews, and that it's got this steady like or and then it's
Some of the
filled.
best shit. It's beautiful.
But to me, that's just it doesn't register as like that's not what my like it just that just sounds like noise to me, and it all sounds the same. That's why that stuff, I feel like that's why songs that you think sound different sound the same to me. You're hearing the eccentricities of that beat. I'm going, it's the same beat though. Now neither one of us has to be wrong, or neither side has to be better or worse than the other. They're just different things. But I was like, I really think I might have unlocked something about why, uh, like why I keep on going, like, because I hate it. I hate the fact that I'm like listening to these albums and going like, it's the music I just don't like. This is not my style of music. It's not the, um, it's there's something that rubs me the wrong way, and I don't know if it's last episode we did. I thought it was the angst, because I've grown up telling myself like, don't get mad that somebody spilled your beer and it hit you in the leg and now it looks like you pissed yourself. You can walk away and it'll dry, and then you do your laundry and it's over. There's no reason to be mad about it. There's no reason to be mad about things that happen, or you're going to get more with a smile than you are with a fist, and in my opinion. And punk music is very well the opposite. It's about raising your voice. It's about stomping your feet. It's about saying, "Fuck this, fuck that. You guys are wrong, and I need you to know it." And that so maybe I like so that was what I thought last episode. This episode, I was like, I think it might just be as simple as the drum beat. I love when drummers do they play on the backbeat, they jazz it up a little bit, slow it down, speed it up, and then reintegrate with the rhythm of the guitar. Like it all kind of gets apart from itself and then comes back together. And I like to hear that journey. Punk music seems to, like most punk music that I listen to, it's very much like the guitarist is strumming on a rhythm, the bass player is strumming on a similar rhythm, the drummer is playing on a similar rhythm, and then the singer is really what you want to be. They're talking about shit that's really stuff that you want to be hearing about. But unfortunately, they're screaming it, and it doesn't come through to me.
Unfortunately, oh, it's beautiful. It fuels me. And I would re-listen to some of those bass lines in punk music because they're pretty wild.
Oh no, bass. This is the thing. I'm not saying that they're not talent, like they're not crazy drum parts or guitar parts or bass parts. I'm not saying that, but they play on on a similar rhythm with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about like these fast starts and stops, and then the fills and things like that. But the actual rhythmic nature of it, they're all on a very similar pattern.
Yeah.
And to me, I like there's that's one way of writing music. It's one of many, and there's like it's just I always want to like punk music. I really fucking do. My brother was in punk bands. I was going to punk shows when I was a kid. Um, I want to like it. I do. But it just doesn't appeal to the brain, the brain chemistry that I have, because I don't know. I'm a people pleaser, Drew,
Well,
and the only person I can't please is you.
yeah, it's a challenge. Uh,
But that's because I like you so much. If you're somebody that I say no, I don't like what you like to, then we're friends, because that just means I'm willing to be honest with you, and I'm going to take the backlash.
Direct Hit has released some I think 3 records since. Is it 3? Yeah, since that album, and their full lengths have kind of tended to be concept albums, which are fun. Which is it's a break of the norm of the punk, like we said before. Their follow up album after that, after Brainless God, was Wasted Mind, which is it's about like drugs and drinking and stuff. Also very, very good. They did a split with a band called Pairs that I love very, very much. Human Movement. That one, I don't know if that one really has necessarily, because it's just a split record. They both did 5 songs, put it on one album, and
Yeah.
then their last full length was Crown of Nothing, which has kind of like Life in Heaven, Doing Things in Hell, that kind of stuff, I guess you could say.
Hmm.
Also very good. After that record was released, the drummer and the bass player left the band. So they, Danny and Steve, I believe, were their names. They put out like a good amount of records with Direct Hit. They left. I don't know why. They did. Devin K and Nick are still in the band, and then they have recruited. I think his name is Logan. I think he was drumming for a band called the Punchlines, I want to say, where all their music is they're just like one-liners. They take like one-liners and make them into songs, which is they're actually pretty good. It's pretty fun, pretty funny too. And then Joram from Rust Ring, she plays with Devin King the Solutions as well. Pretty good stuff. It's a good lineup, good current setup. They haven't released anything. They did like a little split thing EP with Decent Criminal, but they haven't done anything like a full length lately. And I'd like to see them again. They're a great band.
Yeah.
They, like I said, I think it's thought provoking in a sense that it's telling a story, and that it's they have to mesh together in a way to tell a story effectively. You can't just be like, here's one thing and here's another, blah, blah, blah. I think it does a good job. And like I said, this was like really the first one that I really paid attention to and that I really enjoyed. And I think it's fun. Getting what he asked for. It's about killing somebody. White robes, the cult. We're fucked. We're fucked.
Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. I think
It's yeah, but there's like St. Peter's a theme in it, like all that kind of stuff, like being your judgment, doing this and that. It's good. Listen to it. God damn it.
Yeah, I would say listen to it. Anybody should listen to it because they're like you get this is getting closer to like stuff that I. It's not that I don't like it, it's but I really like what they're saying in it. And I really like the way that they the concept of it is amazing.
When you make whoopee, is it relatively slow?
I don't remember. True. Can't remember.
Well, when you love yourself, is it relatively slow?
I try and I'm trying to get the best time, so I don't want to waste a lot of time on that.
Okay.
So it hurts. It's fast.
Do you look at yourself in the eyes? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I hold a hand mirror between my knees, so that I can look at myself and see what I'm doing.
Because that could be a good reflection. You brought up running. You don't have to keep a tempo, but it also could be about love making. Could you imagine?
I see. I will say this. When I used to make the whoop, if that's what you want to.
Whoop. Yeah.
I call him Meaton Goldberg, Whoopi. But I was more on the wavelength of like Radiohead, so probably it's a little slower with the building. You got to build.
That's boring.
That's why I'm single. That's why I got dumped.
I don't know that music's ever been playing in the background for me. I've never intentionally put on music. I
used to do that when I was younger. When I first started going down that road, that's how it like. That's if you want to be to be completely honest, that's how I used to give head. Was with some band that started slow and built to a rise, and I think it fucking worked. Compliments. I heard from their friends that it was very successful.
Okay.
You can cut all that out if you want.
Oh no.
I would be okay. I would be okay with
That
that not
is
being.
staying in. So
Hey, I was just learning.
hold on.
You got to fuck away. You figure. It's like I don't have an inner tempo. I needed something to work with.
Yeah. So let me try to paint a picture, and you tell me if it's accurate or not. So you're with a girl, and you want to
It's not accurate.
perform cunning lingus on her, right?
Cunning lingus. Yeah.
Cunning
Okay.
linguist, is that what? I don't know how you say it, something like that. And
I
then
think
you
it's
go,
cut your lingus.
you're gonna lick her hoo ha. You want to, so you're going to go. You go to the stereo.
Well, first I got to hook up my speakers.
Oh my god! Hold on. I gotta set this up. And then
Real quick.
you go. This is what's, baby. When I see you laying there, and I think about the things that are going down in this room and what are about to go down in this room, I really want to set the mood. You press play, and then you get there, get midway, you're getting to the region, and you just hear, but I'm a creep, I'm
Yeah.
a weirdo.
I thought it was accurate. Yeah. I thought it was a very good song for that. No, you're on the wrong albums, my friend.
You said Radiohead.
Yeah, but think everything in its right place. Think Morning Bells, stuff like that. Crescendos, things like crescendo. This is my first girlfriend. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So yeah, I'd put on music like that.
What the hell
my way
am I supposed, or whatever? I mean,
I'm not gonna take this. I'm not gonna take this from you. I'm bearing my soul to every one of our listeners. And you're really just.
I'm pretty sure
making me.
I'm pretty sure Rugrats is playing in the background the first time it happened to me, and if that's not foreshadowing, I don't know what is.
I was gonna say, yeah, that really. But yeah, it's you learn. It's like I remember talking to my girlfriend about it, going like, let's try some things. Let's throw on some, we'll work with the music here.
Let's go to the record store real quick. Sam Goody's still open.
Yeah, right. It's like that was date night. You go to Sam Goody, you get yourself a new album. You see if it fits.
More ways than one.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't do that with my second girlfriend that I was with for a long time. It's eventually you find your
embarrassing silence.
But when you're first going through it, you figure out it. You do it. Yeah. Also, the other thing is, I was in my parents' house, so it wasn't like at first it was more like, all right, we're gonna do this thing. Let me put some music on, so that it like maybe they'll think that we're just stomping our feet or something. That's like, so that's what it came out of was you play some loud music to because you have younger brothers in the other room. And my first girlfriend could not, like, it was literally, I remember when I moved out of there, I moved to bed and it was just like a million condom wrappers. Like, cause that's like not condoms, Drew. That face did not warrant what I said. Did not warrant that face. Wrappers.
Still.
But either way, it's just like you're first getting into it, so you start doing, you do it all the time.
Sure.
So it was like a lot of music came into play.
Okay.
Probably Gomez at some point. Worked well.
I don't know how. Yeah, that'd be something.
Oh, it didn't work well. You're right. only Tijuana Lady would work well, probably, if you want that slow, building, and then it's I'm realizing as I'm talking that I'm saying too much, and I need to shut the fuck up.
So is it more embarrassing?
This is literally coming up on 20 years ago now. So
is it more embarrassing to like start the music or to end it?
You don't have to. starting it was a thing because we're in my parents' house.
Right.
And
I get it. Did
So
you ever?
there was no embarrassment to starting the music. That was just a necessary part of the ritual of
Like shuffling to turn it off, and then you go, "Oh, we only made it to track 3."
I try not to keep track of the tracks.
But if it was Gomez, that's a good thing. Those songs are long.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, Radiohead too. If you can make it through,
Sure.
4 tracks.
If you can make it through 4 Radiohead tracks, pat yourself on the back because in any situation, because they suck.
But I don't remember what the 4th track is, so I don't think I ever made it that far.
Yeah.
I was, then you just, either you get up and you go to the movies or you fall asleep. I don't know.
You ever have heart-shaped box in the background?
No, I have not.
That's just an easy joke.
Yeah.
All right.
Because it has the word heart and box in it.
So much to work with that title. Thank you, Kurt. And that's what we do with Tunes and Brews. We bring all the different genres. We wrap it together.
I didn't stop this episode 20 minutes ago.
I don't know.
I'm so mad at myself right now.
I would say listen to both records. See what you got to say. I drank Ill Repute, the stout with pumpkin and spice. I will say, over time, as the beer got warmer. And
wait. Did you swirl it for every drink?
Not most of them. Yeah, I swirled it.
Okay. All right, continue.
The cinnamon did come a little more forward. It was present. Didn't get a lot of pumpkin though. So, I'm a little disappointed in that. It was still pretty good. I got two more. Like I got one more pumpkin beer in there, and then I got like a Halloween treat beer in there, which I'm pretty excited about. And I'm gonna get more. I'm just gonna get all the pumpkin stuff. That's what
maybe this year you can go on a journey to try and find the best pumpkin spice beer.
That's a good idea, and I think I might just try. I would say
I could probably go on that journey with you and try and find some pumpkin spice beers out here. I'm sure they exist.
Yeah, dog, do it. I would say drink it. How was your beer?
This is a great Pilsner. It's very crisp. It's very refreshing. I feel like that taste on the after, that wasn't from brushing the teeth. I think that was from the floral spice.
Yeah.
It has a great Pilsner smell to it. There's not anything unique about the smell, but the taste is very crisp up front and good on the back end. I don't have the words, Drew.
Don't have the words, and that's okay.
And I'm sorry, Jack. I did my best.
We appreciate it. On that note, we will see you next time.
Pew! Audio. Goodbye, everyone.